I think the Vikings are for real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I think it's early enough. I think there's enough
They're
evidence.
cooking.
They're cooking.
Yeah, they're cooking.
They're cooking.
Definitely not cooked.
They're not cooked.
Not cooked.
So I look at these guys and I don't know, man. There's something special going on there. There really is.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you remember like halfway through that season in Philly and we're like, you just feel like things are just going right. Like you're like, we're good. Like our players are making plays. Like you just feel like everything's kind of happening the right way. That's what's been going on for the Vikings so far.
Yeah.
They're just good.
They're very good. They're very well. But again, you see two great coordinators. You know, you see drafted players. You see free agents working out. Like everybody on defense that they signed has worked out. They got the best wide receiver in the game. The guy is like, every time he takes the field, we should be thankful to get to watch him play. I think he's that good. I think he's that good of a teammate. You saw him blocking for Addison on the jet sweep. Like you saw how hyped he gets when other people make plays. You know, here's what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. And the Vikings up front, they're really good. So it goes without saying they lean on those guys up front early in the game to like stabilize the game, right? You know, you go in there on the road, you got to run the football. They did that. Darisaw, O'Neal, studs, drive starters. But the minute Alexander was a scratch, it was like blood in the water. It really was. And I'm convinced they took the field and they were like, we're going to light these motherfuckers up. Like, it just is what it is today. And, you know, like, if they took away Jefferson, they went to Naylor. You know, you took away Jefferson with a double team, they're going to run Naylor across the field, and good luck. Justin Jefferson calls him Speedy. Like he told us about him in training camp, and, you know, it's 3rd and 14. You're taking Stokes. They're taking shots at him. You know, took a shot at him, including that second drive at the pylon. They went at Valentine. Addison on the double move. You know, that ball that put them up 28-0, like, there's nothing you can do with that as a defender. There's nothing you can do with the throw or the catch. It's mostly the catch.
Yep.
But the confidence to put the ball there, like cut your sideburn, trim your sideburn a little bit with that ball. It's like there's nothing you can do about it. And so, like, when Rashawn Gary goes over and asks them, per whoever the sideline reporter is, hey, Rashawn Gary is over on the sideline making sure these DBs are locked in. I'm like, yeah, they're locked in. They can't leave the stadium. Like, they have locked the gates on these guys. And the loneliest position in football, at corner in the NFL, can just be a nightmare if things aren't right and you're playing a team like this. So this team's going to get Addison back. They got Addison back. He looked awesome. They're going to get Hawkinson back. This is a different game with Alexander playing. Yes, it's a different game if you pick Darnold off the first drive, right? Darnold, I've talked about having these moments. There were moments where you're like, he could give you the game. If you look at the first couple weeks, he's got a bunch of brilliant plays, and maybe that one play you want to avoid, but who doesn't lately? But when you go on the road and you throw the ball right to a linebacker, like that linebacker's got to catch the ball.
Got to.
You know, so taking advantage of those opportunities. Also, Wicks drops the ball in the red zone. Like, it's not a perfect throw, but you got to have that. And so, like, when you're playing a team like this, we're going to get into the Eagles playing the Bucks. Not saying the Bucks or the Vikings, but when you're playing on the road and the script goes this way and you fuck up early in the game offensively, you don't have a chance. And, like, they missed their opportunities in the red zone. They missed a field goal. And then, you know, missing that pick was a big deal. But Jordan Love ultimately wasn't ready. Like, and not to play Monday morning QB, but we did talk about this last week. It's not necessarily a net positive if he plays, because he's going to be rusty. And he looked rusty week 1. I swore we saw something pop in his knee a month ago. It's amazing he's out there, and it says a lot about him. But those balls were all over the place, you know.
That's a tough defense to come back to, Chris. I mean, we talked about that a little bit. But like,
he got balls on the brain.
Like you're coming off injury.
By you today, huh?
Nate only cares about one thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, it's interesting that they played Jordan Love, right? You got to think that they're like trying to look to the future with that, like look further down the schedule for this season. But it's kind of interesting to me because like you're playing well, you're getting grubby, gritty wins with Malik Willis.
Yeah,
obviously big divisional opponent coming into town. And you're putting him up against a defense that's absolutely rolling. I think one thing I'm curious to see is how, like, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets play against the Vikings defense, because he's played against Flores a ton, whether it was when he was in Miami or New England.
Yeah.
I think that Flores' defenses are a little different against a vet QB like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
They don't see as many ghosts.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. And there's fewer and far between older quarterbacks now that like have seen it all, like a lot of young guys. So this definitely works to heat people up and just say, hey, like, see if you can stop it. I mean, it did it to CJ last week, and CJ's really good against the blitz. It did it anyways.
And this is an interesting stat about the Vikings. They have only trailed for just under 3 minutes the entire season. So their defense has yet to really play from behind. So I wonder if they get into a situation like that, they go down maybe 1 or 2 scores early, how that bodes for that defense.
How do they respond?
If guys are just, hey, we're gonna run the ball down your throat now. Or
I think they're ready.
I
I think they're ready. Last week I had some doubts, but like I don't know, yesterday I turned the game off at 28-0 because there's so many damn games on.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happened after that, I don't know for sure. But I am saying, like, when you come into somebody's stadium and hit them with a flurry like that, like the whole league should take notice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really this team is real. I'm not saying they're the best team in the league. Like I said, they were the best team in the NFC right now because if the playoffs started today, they are. You can't tell me San Francisco's better. They just beat them. And San Francisco's down guys. Come January.
So if the playoffs started today, the Bengals are cooked.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Keep going.
But they don't.
4 games into the season.
Okay. I know.
Are you hurt after moving the goalpost like that? Like, is your back sore?
I just heard you say that. And I just want
you are you in the chat are like this though. It really
that's the chat. That's the beautiful thing
him and the
about
chat are like this.
That's
it
the
really is.
beautiful
There's
thing.
a kinship between him and the chat that I think that's what drives me crazy.
I
It's
can't
like
even see
I'm
the
outnumbered
chat,
by
though.
people who aren't thinking about this in a way that's like fair. First, they're cooked. We have an extra game. They've made the playoffs with 16 games starting like shit in September. Anyways, I'm just not going to get up here and say things I don't believe. I'm not going to say things but one thing I might believe is that Minnesota, if the playoffs started today, are the best team in the NFC. And I can't say enough about this damn coach and the coordinator. And fuck, man, good for
Chris. You know what I mean? Where you're playing.
They're playing complementary football, which a lot of teams right now aren't doing yet. And that goes like a long way because when your defense humming and then you can score points, or if your offense isn't humming and you could, as a defense, can be like, hey, we're going to flip the field for you. We're going to get the ball back or make them punt. It goes a long way.
Yeah, no question. They've got a good thing going. It's going to be fun to watch them. It is September, but boy, do they look good.